Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me today. Today I am using the Slimline paper pad that is an add-on to the box of the month for the month of May to create some flowers. And so I'm always looking for ways to use pattern paper that's not kind of the normal way you use pattern paper. And so I grabbed this daisy die from my stash and I cut out lots of different shapes using that Slimline paper pack. And I also cut out a bunch of white as well. And I'm using white because these flowers are several layers and I didn't want the pattern paper to get lost. And so adding that white in there kind of helps to break up the design a little bit so that you can see the pattern paper and it's not too busy for the eye. And so I've grabbed my little foam pad and some of my flower making tools and just kind of shaping those, and then I will also bend and move the flowers and shape those with my hands as well. And so I'm just going to piece all of my flowers together, or a bunch of them. I have a few pieces left over at the end, but I do use up a lot of the paper that I've cut. And so I'm going to make all of my flowers and I will set those aside. I also use the leaves, but I found that when I was putting the card together that the leaves didn't really jive with everything else, and so I left them out. But I had this frame in my little box of papers, and so I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and add the flowers around the frame. And so I am just going to add a little bit of liquid glue to the back of the flowers and then arrange those around the frame. Now this is going to end up being a little bit bigger than a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But if I do end up mailing it, I can still fit it in a 5 by 7 envelope, or it would go in like a bubble mailer or something like that with a gift, just because it is a little bit bulky. But I'm going to go ahead and keep on adding the flowers. And then once I was done, even though I dry fit all of my pieces, I ended up with a blank spot there at the very top, and I thought maybe I would insert a leaf in there, but I just did not like the way, for whatever reason, the leaves looked with the flowers. And so I do have some extra pieces that I end up creating a flower for, and then I decided to turn it into a shaker. This did not start out as a shaker. I was just going to do the frame and add that to a card panel, and then I decided that it would be fun to create a really easy shaker. So I'm adding some double-sided adhesive to, or actually my tape runner, to the back of a piece of acetate, and I'm just going to add that to the frame. And then I'm going to grab my foam, and this foam just happened to fit perfectly around the square, and so I am going to add the foam to all 4 corners, and then I am going to add that extra little flower that I put together with some of the leftover pieces that I had. And then I'm going to get out some of my little sequins and bits and pieces to use for the shaker. So I believe this is Picket Fence Studios, the ones that put it in kind of the compact case. And so I add a little bit of that because the colors matched really well with my flowers. And then I'm going to add some Queen and Company just little jewels, the clear jewels. And then once I have that done, I'm just going to remove the release paper for the foam. And then I'm going to pick that card up and dump my shaker bits into my acetate window, and then use that piece of cardstock as my backer. And then for the sentiment for this, I am using a Simon Says stamp sentiment set. This says "Get Well Soon." And so I have just taken a piece of vellum and added some white cardstock that I've stacked twice to that bottom corner. And that's going to finish this card. It's always, I think, I went from not hardly ever using pattern paper to just using pattern paper all the time. And so like I said previously, I kind of like to see if there's different ways to use the pattern paper. And so I thought this was really fun, and you can do this with really any kind of dies in your stash, any floral dies that you have. And so I hope you enjoyed. If you did like this video, I would absolutely love a thumbs up. I will definitely leave the links to the box of the month as well as this paper pad in the description below. So if you're interested, go ahead and check that out. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today, and I hope to see you next time.